Whose idea was this? Hello YouTube, it's been a while. I've not done a video where I've actually been talking to you for quite a while now. So I thought I'd give in and show you why. And well, this is why. And if I turn the camera around to where I'm standing, that's where all the track is. Yeah, how on earth do I explain this? Right, so, you'll remember, if you're regular to my channel, if not, you'll have to try and work this out. Level crossing is here usually, and then we have the two lines coming through, we have a crossover, and we have the junction going off up there. Up there, that is. So usually we always have that, and that is the basic track map design, which is sort of stuck with this layout and always has been on this layout, and always will be. Problem is, I decided to change the points. Why I did that? Why did I do that? I don't know, because, well, look what I've ended up doing. I've ruined it. I've not run any trains for about 3 weeks. And it's ongoing. Okay, that's enough of that now. I think I have a solution to the problem, but first I need to tell you what that problem is. Okay, so it all starts with this crossover, which is here at the moment, it's just invisible. And all of this is here at the moment, including the level crossing. You just can't see it at the moment. And you'll remember quite a lot of layout updates ago, not that many actually, 2, 3, that's a lot. Anyway, I changed these 2 points on the crossover, and that's just because they were really old. In fact, they're down here, and if I can find it in shot, that's what happened. One of the blades broke off of one of them, and it was about to go the same way for the other. So I bought some new points, and I installed them here. They went in pretty much fine. I didn't have to do much, but I didn't buy 3 at that point because they were quite expensive for some reason at that point in time. And I said I was going to go back and buy a 3rd point to go here, because that was the same age as the original 2 for the crossover. And once I bought that 3rd point and replaced that, because I didn't want that to go wrong as well, then I would ballast it, and all would be good in the world. Oh dear, what a mistake that was, because I went and bought that 3rd point, and the point is fine. In fact, here it is here, and it's a lovely little point, but doesn't fit. You see, there's nothing wrong with the point, there's nothing wrong with the other points. What's wrong is my extremely dodgy track work on the rest of the layout that was laid down about, I don't know, 2 years ago or something. It was tacked down about a year ago and hasn't moved since then. So about a year ago I thought I straightened it out. I obviously didn't pay enough attention to that, because I clearly haven't. So what was happening was I pulled out the old point, put this point in, and for some reason that moved it around enough that, because it is a very tight squeeze, so it does move stuff around, it does push stuff quite hard even though it's tacked down. So that pushed it that way, and we were getting on the other point here. In fact, I'll just grab the other points. Going on behind the camera. There's the crossover I'm talking about. and then we have the power track here, which I've also managed to ruin. If I can yank that off behind me, I managed to do that to the power track because I've been yanking all of this track around so much. That's not too much of a problem. I've got a spare one here, but it is incredibly annoying, and I've been getting little things like that as long as this huge problem. So when I put this new point in here, it somehow pushed everything that way, and we weren't getting gaps around the new point, but a huge gap in the joint of the track opened up here, which is about ½ centimetre. And I don't usually mind gaps in the track so much. I mean, if you look around the layout, there are a few tiny gaps, they're all about 1 millimetre. It's just so you can get that clickety-clack sound as trains go around, and it's not much, but that makes me happy, and I love that about the whole railway. So yeah, I do leave small gaps, but obviously ½ centimetre's worth of gap is going to just derail anything and everything. So I started panicking, to be honest. I was pretty annoyed because I thought I was going to get this new point, and that afternoon, as soon as it was in, I was going to be able to ballast after testing and whatever, obviously, and then I'd have this bit ballast for the next layout update, and all would be happy in the world. So what I thought it was, after a bit of measuring, I decided that this corner, which obviously isn't here now, I thought that piece of track was forward a bit, because there was a slightly larger than normal gap at this piece of track. It's barely in shot up here, and so what I did was what I really didn't want to do, and I started ripping up ballast. So here you can see what I've done. I've literally ripped it straight out, and the piece of track, if I can find it, actually came out alright. I can't find it in this mess at the moment. No, wait, yep, I can, sorry, dodgy camera work, he's holding that camera again. But yeah, that's the piece of track, and it came out with the ballast in between, and it wasn't too bad. And I thought it wouldn't be reusable. I thought, oh, for goodness sake, I'm going to have to completely relay it. But this piece is alright, so I was quite happy. And I thought, well, I can relay this, and I'll relay it properly this time, and I'll fix the problems. So I ripped up this piece of track, moved all the points around, put it back in, and solved absolutely nothing at all. The gaps just opened up. Instead of being 1/2 centimetre gap, it just sort of opened up all over the place. If anything, it made it worse. So all I had fixed was the gap that was up here before, and that had made these gaps worse for some reason. So I went away for another week. I thought, oh, give up, you know. Something's annoying you. It's meant to be a hobby, so I'm only going to do it when it's fun. So I eventually came back about a week later, and I thought, right, what else could possibly be doing this? So I then moved my attention in this direction, which I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do any of it, but this is something I really didn't want to do, because this is where the level crossing was, and you'll remember quite a few updates back now, I basically polyfilled it in, so that there wasn't a little step either side of it. Then I painted it all one shade of grey all the way across. And what I've done is cracked all of that out now to get it out. It already started to crack, and I basically pulled the whole thing out. There's always going to be a little gap or whatever, something like that, so that's going to need redoing. And I'll probably end up repainting the entire road, which isn't too good. But yeah, there you go. I'd rather have trains that can run than a road that looks perfect. So I came to the conclusion somehow, in a way that I now can't remember, that the problem was coming from this end, and that gaps and whatever from this end were pushing it round. Because basically that was causing the level crossing to go not perfectly square, and that was pushing one side further forward than the other and causing gaps. So I first thought that the gap would be here on this side because there was a slight gap, so I pulled that up and it made no difference. Pulled up the inside one for the same reason, it made no difference. And I think basically I would have to pull it up all the way to somewhere over here behind the church. Up there, that's the church behind the glue bottle. To get rid of the gaps, which I am not doing. I'm not going any further, I'm taking nothing up. That's it, I'm done taking stuff up. But basically, this inner one wasn't quite straight. It was going off that way a bit. So I've just found if I lay it in straight, it actually comes round over here somewhere. So I might replace this with FlexiTrack, I'm not quite sure. Or I might just sort of put up with the bit of a gap, because it wasn't derailing anything, it's been like that for a long time. In fact, this little section here was the first bit of ballasting I ever did on the layout, hence it was one of the worst laid pieces of tracks, something like that. So yeah, I've basically wrecked all the scenery over here. When I relay the ballast, I don't know if it will match this bit in the middle and at the edges, so I might then have to rip up all of the ballast. I just don't know what's happening at the moment. So what am I going to do? Well, I think I'm going to not put a FlexiTrack here. I'm going to put the same piece of second radius back in there, but instead of having a funny gap there, I will try and have that straight, and basically I can put it under quite a lot of tension, and I can just about bend it out, if that makes sense. I'm not really demonstrating it very well there. On the one here there wasn't much of a problem, but I can't put the same one back because when I pulled it up it was glued down so well with ballast that it did that. So I've gone through the supplies and dug out a brand new one of them. That's just a third radius piece of track. So that's going to go in there, and then all of the points and stuff are going to go in there. And so yeah, we're going to replace a few pieces of track. Obviously all the points are new, and I'm going to get all of these little gaps and hopefully try and bring them into one big gap, which will be around here somewhere. What I'm then going to do is try and cut a really short piece of rail. I don't know how well this is going to work. I really don't know at the moment. But I'm going to try in the gap. I've got nothing I can demonstrate with here, but there's two pieces of rail. Focus. And in the gap, there's a fish plate holding them together. In the gap, I'm going to put this new piece that I'll slide into it. It's going to be a really short piece, and that's hopefully going to fill the gap. So I'll cut 4 of those pieces of rail to go across there. And with a lot of track pins, it's all going to be very tight, and it's going to be very tedious, horrible job to do. But if it does work and we don't get loads of derailments over these little short pieces of track, like I say, it's all very theory and nothing really happening at the moment. But that's the plan. And I have got this weekend free. For the last 2 weekends I've been doing something every day, so I've basically not had a free day here doing a nothing day at the house for quite a long time, and hence now I've been filming this video over several days, and the layout's been like this now for at least a month, if not more. So I really need to get a move on, so I thought I'd do a video, keep you updated rather than just leave you in the dark, which is what I've been doing quite well. Last weekend I went out to North Weald Rally and I got this for £5, which was quite good. So that's the first of the buses coming in. This is just a standard RT It's a really old one from EFE that hasn't got any of the mirrors, it hasn't even got ears on it. So yeah, it's basic, but hopefully I'll be able to make some ears. I'm probably going to redo the platform, because platforms and all model buses are pretty rubbish, to be honest. They're complete red and black and, well, just rubbish. So I'm going to redo as much of the platform as I can, and I'll basically just detail it up. But yeah, that's the second bus in the new bus fleet. Obviously the one that goes with that is behind the tunnel at the moment. This one, which I'm sure you've seen around the place. And this is a slightly newer EFE model, it's got the indicator ears on it. So yeah, they're going in, the new buses are going out, as I showed you in the last update. That's parked there. But yeah, that's what's happening on the layout. It's all a very big mess, but I've got a plan, so hopefully, fingers crossed, somewhere on the screen, hopefully it'll work its way out, and it'll all be good. So yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for listening to my rant, rubbish, blah about pretty much nothing, because I've got nothing to show you at the moment apart from empty baseboards appearing again, which I really didn't want to do. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you all again soon. So bye!